consumer right there, just people that have been to school and can relate to that. But, you know, just in terms of just my experiences, I'm bringing a different perspective just because I've been through that. So, you know, I can talk about some new things.
Not even just that. I mean, you graduated with honors. Like, you're smart.
Absolutely.
That's a good thing.
Yes.
Now, I got to ask you, I read somewhere that when you were 15, something changed in you. Something changed and you, like, you were a different person?
I don't know. You gotta let me know. Just in terms of music or whatever?
In terms of music, right.
Yeah. Well, I got a beat machine when I was 15. Okay. So that kind of changed things. So, like, I started making my own beats and for my own songs or whatever. That was when I was 15 years old. So that, in a sense, that changed, like, my whole life right there.
Now, as I mentioned, you are the first artist that signed to Roc Nation.
Yeah.
Tell us, how did that happen? Because that's a very interesting story, right?
Yeah. Well, my manager now is Mark Pitts. Mark Pitts was Biggie's manager. And he was an A&R on the Confessions album, Usher, and he signed Chris Brown, so he's a heavyweight in the game. He was like the first guy to hear my music and like really believe. He played a song I got called Lights Please, which is on my album, for Jay-Z. And once Jay-Z heard it, he was just like, yo, bring this guy to me right now, like bring him to me. So that was, the rest was history after I met him.
When you got that phone call, was it like?
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I was on my way to work at the time, actually. I think I was walking into work and I got the text like, yo, Jay-Z wants to see you today. So I walked right out of work. I didn't even tell nobody. Yeah.
That's like, sorry, gotta go.
Exactly.
Well, if you want to talk to J. Cole, we're going to make it motivation. Power 96, Miami's party station. Vic Mendez, Nicky Ramirez still vibing out to J. Cole in the studio.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I want to ask you. I heard your influences are Nas, Eminem, and Tupac, right?
Yeah, that's some of them.
Now,
Absolutely.
tell me why.
You know what? Because they're great storytellers. Nas, especially Nas, Eminem, and Tupac. But Tupac, it was told stories and he had a lot of emotion.
Right.
So that's what I try to capture in my music. Because those are the types of guys I gravitated towards for those reasons.
Now, who would you say, this is always a debate, who would you say is the best right now, deceased or alive, best hip-hop artist of all time?
Of all time? Well, it's Tupac. Absolutely, of all time.
I just knew you were going to say Jay-Z.
Oh, yeah. Jay-Z, it's arguable.
Right.
Of
course.
And I'm very biased on that. But, anybody can make a case for Jay-Z. There's no right or wrong answer to that question. But Tupac, to me, is the greatest of all time.
Now, I want to talk about Cold World, the Sideline Story. It's coming out September 27th. We're going to play the first single off of it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. September 27th for the album. We about to play Workout, correct?
Yes, we're going to play it right now.
Yeah.
We're going to play Workout, but let's go to the phones right now. 550-9696. What up, man?
We got a good time, man. Yeah, I can talk to that, man.
Thank you. Thank you, Dad.
Now tell me, do you really wanna love me forever? Or is it just a hit and run? Hey, we got a good thing. Don't know if I'ma see you again.
It's Nicky Ramirez along with Vic Mendez, special guest J. Cole, hanging out with us today.
Yeah.
We're so happy you're here. Now, we got to talk about the concert that was supposed to be tonight at Revolution.
Yes.
It's rescheduled, right?
Absolutely. October 1st is the new date. I apologize to everybody, man, for any inconvenience. But if you're listening right now, this is J. Cole. If you was coming to the show tonight, do not go. It's rescheduled for October 1st. Why? Because I messed up my ankle real bad 2 nights ago.
I know. You came in with the crutches.
I
thought
sorry,
you were playing basketball out there, man.
I was. Late night. So I had to move the Orlando show and then also this one. So, yeah.
That's terrible. Well, we got to talk about today is the 10th anniversary of 9/11.
Yep.
The 9/11 attacks. And we've been asking all day, where were you at? So we want to ask you, J. Cole, where were you at?
Man, I was in high school. I remember exactly where I was at. I was in chemistry class, Mr. Hunt, chemistry class. And I remember this kid walked in and he was joking about it. Not that at the time he didn't know what it was. He just heard, he was like, yo, I heard a plane just flew into the World Trade Center. But at the time, the way he said it, I just visualized like a little mini plane, like a personal plane.
Like an accident even, probably.
Yeah, absolutely. Like an accident. Like, man, how could somebody be so silly to do that? You know what I mean? And then I had the type of teacher that wouldn't turn on the TV for something like that. Like, he was a real strict teacher. Like, he was like that was one of the hardest classes I had. So I had to wait until homeroom, which was right after that. And on my way to homeroom, I heard everybody buzzing, and everybody talking about it. Every class that I passed had the TV on. So when I got in homeroom, I think by that time the second plane had already hit. And at this time, I'm just watching the fire and the chaos. And I remember seeing people jumping from the buildings and just being like, yo, what's going on? And then I remember seeing the buildings collapse. So I'm in class watching this happen. And I remember, it's so weird. This is a very weird memory, a distinct memory I have. Before I even knew better, a few years before that, I was at my father's house in Texas watching like Discovery Channel or some type of History Channel where they're talking about like terrorists. And I remember the name Osama bin Laden from watching. Like, I never forgot his name from watching that show.
Right.
And I remember thinking to myself, like, people were saying Saddam Hussein. I was like, yo, I bet you it's Osama bin Laden. But I didn't really know.
But you didn't know.
Nah, and I didn't really know who he was or what he was about. But I remember that name and seeing that program flash back in my head. And sure enough, you know, later on, that's who they started saying. So those are just some of the memories I have of that day.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yo, what's caller number 9 gonna get, J. Cole?
Man, calling number 9. Call in right now to 550-9696. Man, they get into the Sean Paul private party. You gotta call Power 96 now. Power 96, baby, yeah.
I ain't with this.
Get 'em up. Get 'em up. Love that record. I'm on one. Drizzy, Lil Weezy, Ricky Rose, Power 96, Miami's Party Station, Nicky Ramirez, Vic Mendez, J. Cole in the studio.
Yeah.
Yes, I gotta ask you, J. Cole, tell me, first of all, like, with this being the 10-year anniversary of 9/11, do you think that, or how has America changed?
I mean, definitely more cautious, feels more secure. I think we're all more aware, you know, the possibility of that. But before that happened, I don't think we really ever even could conceive something like that happening. So we definitely more aware and more cautious as a country. And I think we're a more prideful country now, even more so than before that.
I think so too, and it's sad that we had to go through all of that, you
Right,
know,
exactly.
and all these deaths. I mean, over 3,000, I think, people died.
Yeah.
Almost 3,000.
Yeah.
So it's really sad. I want to ask you, I tweeted yesterday, or actually I started tweeting on Friday, that you were going to be here with us, and everybody wants to know about some tape that you and Rihanna have.
Oh my God, man.
I know you've heard this question over and over again.
Of course, yeah.
So, like, do you think it could have happened? Do you think, like, maybe it ain't true? What do you think?
Of course it's not true. It's the wildest rumor.
Really, it is? It is?
Yes.
I mean, everybody, we all have sex tapes. I mean, no, I'm just kidding.
Nah, but really though,
Vic Mendez does.
that's like all new to me.
5 of them.
That's like all new to me, like rumors. Like just in the past 2 weeks, it's been like 3-4 insane
You know
rumors.
what, man? I just think it's great publicity, you know,
Absolutely,
because there's
yeah.
no such thing as bad publicity.
And
you
there's
know?
nothing wrong with the sex tape.
There's nothing wrong with a sex tape,
Yeah,
people.
there is. I'm
People
not
do it all the
judging
time. Look at Ray J and Kim.
Right.
Absolutely.
You
Look
know?
at Nicky Ramirez. I'm just kidding. I gotta stop saying that. Now let's move on to the new CD. We gotta pick it up. It's coming out September 27th.
September 27th, Cold World, The Sideline Story, man. Trust me, it's the day our lives changed. September 27th. The album has Drake on it. The album has Trey Songz on it, which is the next single called Can't Get Enough. We're gonna drop the video this week. It has Missy Elliott on it and Jay-Z. So, you know, trust me, it's a very, very good album.
And get your tickets for Revolutions. The date's moved. It's not tonight. It's October 1st.
October 1st. I heard it was sold out. I'm not sure about the factual.
Okay.
And now that they moved it, some people might, you know, there might be some tickets that free up. So October 1st.
Yes, jcolemusic.com. You can get the tickets. And we're so happy you were here. Thank you for stopping by. Come by anytime.
Thank
you are
y'all
so
for
welcome.
having me. I appreciate y'all for the love, man. Thank you.